friends of Allah, the friends of Allah, they are the friends of Allah, the friends of Allah, the friends of Allah, the friends of Allah, they are the friends of Allah, the friends of Allah.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Mursaleen. Amma ba'd. Fa'a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya Rasulallah. As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya Habiballah. As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya Nabiyallah. Wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Nurallah. Dear viewers of Madani Channel and respected elders, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam has indeed told us in his blessed ahadith numerous times that the one who sends peace and blessings upon me, his rank will be increased, his good deeds will be increased, his sins will be forgiven. What kind of blessing a person will get? The Prophet Muhammad has already told us this. Let's send peace and blessings with our heart. Sallu ala al-Habib, sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Welcome dear viewers of Madani Channel, ahlan wa sahlan, marhaba, to yet another episode of this silsila called The Friends of Allah. And specifically today, we'll be talking about the spirituality of the Awliya. Now, what is spirituality, dear viewers of Madani Channel? What was their connection to Allah? What was their connection to Sayyidina Rasulullah? Spiritually, remember, the awliya are the friends of Allah. And how did they, still after so much time away from the birth of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, i.e. what I'm trying to say is that the friends of Allah, they were born 100 years, 200 years, 1,000 years after the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they are still being born. But why was their connection so close to Sayyidina Rasulullah? That is spirituality. Their connection was close and is close to Allah Azza wa Jal. So today we're going to be learning about the different events of these special pious individuals known as the Awliya Allah, the friends of Allah, and what their spirituality was like. Sallu ala al-Habib, sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. I'd like to start, dear viewers of Madani Channel, with the ghost of every time. Subhanallah. The ghost of all time. Sayyidina Ghost Azam rahmatullahi ta'ala alayh. When we mention him and we mention his birth, before his birth, what were the spiritual signs amongst the community? Now what is spirituality, dear viewers of Madani Channel? Let's pause. When me or you were born, when we were about to come into this world, what was the news like? How many people knew? Did we have a dream that this person is going to be special? Was our name chosen? Who gave the glad tidings? Who spread the news? Was it just our parents? Now listen to how the spirituality of Ghost Park was here before he even set foot into this world. Abu Saleh Musa Jangi Dost, who was the father of Sayyidina Ghost Park radiyallahu anhu. Before Sayyidina Ghost Park was even born, before he even came into this world physically, subhanallah, the father of Sayyidina Ghost Park, and he saw the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala wasallam. Subhanallah. Look at the spirituality of the pious individuals before they even come to the world. The blessed of creation sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam is blessing the father of that individual, who was also a blessed individual, who was also a pious individual, who was also a wali of Allah, a friend of Allah. And what happened? It's mentioned that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala wasallam, along with his blessed companions and pious saints, visited the house of the father of Sayyidina Ghost Park. And they gave him the following good news. Listen very carefully. Oh Abu Saleh, Allah Almighty has blessed you with a pious son. Subhanallah. He is my beloved and the beloved of Allah Almighty. And his rank among the pious saints, the walis, the friends of Allah, and the aqtab is similar to my rank among the Anbiya and the Mursaleen. Subhanallah, subhanallah, subhanallah. Dear viewers of Madani Channel, look at the glad tidings, subhanallah, before even Ghost Park comes into this world. His father, subhanallah, there are no machines. There is no way of knowing what the gender of the child is. There is no way of knowing that this is the day that child is going to be born. But none other than the best of creation, Sayyidina Muhammad Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, is blessing, yes, he is blessing the father of Ghost Park. And he is the one himself telling him. What does he tell him? He is telling him the gender. Subhanallah. He is telling him, you will be blessed with a boy. Subhanallah. And there is no machinery at that time. This is what you call spirituality, dear viewers of Madani Channel. And then the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says that he is also accepted. He is the beloved of Allah Almighty. He is also accepted in the court of Allah. Subhanallah, subhanallah. Sallu ala al-Habib, sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Dear viewers of Madani Channel and respected elders, we have just heard about the beautiful events that took place at the birth of Ghost Park. And we are especially talking about the spirituality of the pious individuals. How before he even came into this world, who gives the news of the child who is being born? It's either the mother or the father. But here the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is telling the father of Ghost Park that you have a son and he is going to be the Ghost of all time. Subhanallah. Just like that, Sayyidina Ghost Park radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, when you talk about spirituality, dear viewers of Madani Channel, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, besides him and the other blessed Anbiya, they also gave glad tidings to the father of Ghost Park that all the Awliya of Allah will be obedient to his son, meaning to Ghost Park, and his son's blessed foot will be upon the necks of all the pious individuals, i.e. the friends of Allah. Sallu ala al-Habib, sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Dear viewers of Madani Channel, respected elders, we're talking about the spirituality of the friends of Allah. When we hear such beautiful events take place within the life of the friends of all the friends, meaning the highest ranked friend of Allah Azza wa Jal, then no wonder when somebody asks Sayyidina Ghost Park, Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi, when did you know that you were a wali? Subhanallah. Me and you, viewers of Madani Channel today, we do not know if we're ever going to become pious, like I said, and we do not know if we're going to become practicing. I do dua may Allah Azza wa Jal makes us attached to this beautiful environment of Dawat Islami, where one can and one will, inshallah Azza wa Jal, get close to Allah Azza wa Jal. One can and will get close to Sayyidina Rasulullah. One can and will get close to the pious predecessors. And one can and will get close to Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani through Amiri al-Sunnat, Damat Barakatumul Aliyah. However, we don't know if this is confirmation. Information and confirmation are two separate things, dear viewers of Madani Channel. But look at the life of Sayyidina Ghost Park. When we hear before his blessed birth, who is calling him a wali? Who is telling us that he has been accepted? When somebody asks him, since when did you come to know that you were a wali, O Ghost Park? He responded, I was 10 years old, subhanallah, when I would leave for home going to the maktab. Meaning, when I would leave my home and I was traveling and I was going towards the school at that time, I could see the angels of Allah who would say to the boys at the school, make space for seating the wali of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Subhanallah. Dear viewers of Madani Channel, today if our children go to school, or if me and you go to school, does anybody tell them to move? Does anybody make way for us? Our egos are such that we want people to move automatically. Our egos and nafs is such, we want people to stand up when we enter into the room. Our egos and nafs is such that we like showing off. We like it when people do our vava. Vava means in basic English terms, we want people to praise us. Allahu Akbar. Look at the pious individuals. Who is telling people to move and make way? It is the innocent angels of Allah Azza wa Jal. And Sayyidina Ghost Park himself is saying that when I was 10 years old, I knew then. Subhanallah. What a beautiful, beautiful narration. This is what you call spirituality. We can't even see angels, dear viewers of Madani Channel. Here Ghost Park is seeing angels at the age of 10. Subhanallah. Sallu ala al-Habib, sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Dear viewers of Madani Channel and respected elders, spirituality, it's a very long topic. It's not a half an hour thing in which in half an hour you can explain. However, we are trying our best on Madani Channel to explain what spirituality is. And in easy terms, spirituality is to do with the heart, it's to do with the mind, it's to do with the depths of the knowledge of Islam. Now, when you talk about spirituality, what generally comes to mind is supernatural acts, where one will do something out of the ordinary. It's not according to the norms of Islam. For example, if I was to say in winter or autumn, I can get fruits from such and such tree, or let's do one even better than that. I get fruits in autumn or winter from the ceiling, from the roof. It descends to me from the skies. What would you say, dear viewers of Madani Channel? Of course, you would be surprised if you came to me right now and you see every single day that from the ceiling or from the skies a tray is being descending to me. Then of course you would say that there is no sorcery, there is no trickery, there is no magic. This is in fact a miracle, a karamat of the special one, of somebody who is close to Allah, who is close to Sayyidina Rasulullah. This is what we would class as spirituality. When we look at the blessed life of the mother of Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam, Sayyidatuna Maryam radiyallahu ta'ala anha, subhanallah, who was also a Awliya of Allah, a friend of Allah. And we talk about her blessed life. So we have a narration, dear viewers of Madani Channel, where we must first understand who was Sayyidatuna Maryam and who was Sayyidina Zakaria. Sayyidina Zakaria alayhi salam was a blessed prophet of Allah Azza wa Jal. And Sayyidatuna Maryam, she was the niece of the prophet Sayyidina Zakaria, and she was also the mother of Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam. Now that we know this, the narration states, subhanallah, and listen very carefully, dear viewers of Madani Channel, because this narration will explain multiple things. For example, how the friends of Allah are special, and to what extent are they special. Sayyidina Zakaria alayhi salam, even though he was a prophet of Allah, it's mentioned that he did not have any child, meaning a lot of time had gone in his life and he had become very weak, meaning he had reached the old age. Now it is very difficult for a man or for a woman to produce children at that time. However, he desired a son for many years, and he did dua to Allah Azza wa Jal beseechingly for a son, beseechingly, meaning day and night with his heart. And who is he? He's a prophet of Allah. The du'as of the prophets of Allah are not rejected, they are accepted. But wallahu khairul makirin, Allah Azza wa Jal is best of planners. Listen to the plan of Allah. He alayhi salam had not been blessed with any son yet, even though he did dua day and night. When he saw the miracle of Sayyidatuna Maryam radiyallahu ta'ala anha, again going back to what I said, out of season fruits are being blessed to me, i.e., why did I say this? Because he saw, Sayyidina Zakaria alayhi salam saw that Sayyidatuna Maryam radiyallahu ta'ala anha at the time of autumn or winter, out of season fruits were descending to the blessed chamber of Sayyidatuna Maryam radiyallahu ta'ala anha, subhanallah. Meaning when she was in her chamber, when she was locked away doing her ibadat, when she preferred to stay away from everybody and worship Allah day and night, then Allah Azza wa Jal in the time of autumn or winter would descend a tray of fruit to the blessed room of Sayyidatuna Maryam radiyallahu anha. When he saw this, he said, let me go to that chamber and let me do dua in that chamber so that He, Allah Azza wa Jal, will bless me with an out of season fruit in the form of a child. Meaning Allah Azza wa Jal will bless me due to the blessings of Sayyidatuna Maryam radiyallahu anha, due to her ibadat in that room. When he went there and he did dua, it is mentioned, subhanallah, in the mihrab of Sayyidatuna Maryam radiyallahu anha, in her room, in her chamber, his du'as were heard, and Allah Azza wa Jal blessed him with a son in his old age. And that son was not any ordinary son, dear viewers of Madani Channel, but in fact, Allah blessed him even further, that not only a son in his old age, but a son who was also blessed with the Nabuwah. Yes, dear viewers of Madani Channel, our respected our elders, that son was called Sayyidina Yahya alayhi salam. What do we learn? What are the lessons in this blessed narration? That, dear viewers of Madani Channel, our Aman, our Aqidah tells us that the prophets of Allah, they are number one. They are close to Allah. They have the highest rank. I am not saying Sayyidatuna Maryam has a higher rank. No, I am saying that the prophets of Allah, they had this understanding as well, that the friends of Allah are also special. Let me go and visit their blessed resting places. Let me go and visit their blessed places where they were born. Let me go and visit those places where they spent years on end worshipping Allah Azza wa Jal. Sayyidina Zakaria, who is a prophet who has a higher rank, is going to the room of Sayyidatuna Maryam and asking Allah Azza wa Jal for a son. Allah doesn't just give him a son in his old age, but Allah Azza wa Jal blesses that son with Nabuwah, and that son is called Sayyidina Yahya alayhi salam. Hopefully through this narration, and this narration is also mentioned in the Holy Quran, our waswasa, our satanic whispers will be removed, and we will have true understanding of this. It's what you call spirituality. When you do dua at your normal place, it might not get accepted. But when you do dua with your heart in a masjid, you do dua with your heart at a place where a wali is present, or where a wali was present, then inshallah Azza wa Jal, we have yaqeen and we have hope that Allah will accept these duas because of those pious individuals. Sallu ala al-Habib, sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam.
The friends of Allah, the friends of Allah, they are the friends of Allah, the friends of Allah. The friends of Allah, the friends of Allah, they are the friends of Allah, the friends of Allah.